some information on how things are going to work. I want to run through the syllabus and talk about some things that are going to be important to start the year. Okay. Now, first thing I'm going to talk about are just some safety precautions. All right. When you're in school, there'll be a maximum of 6 people in this classroom at the most. Some of the classes are really small and only have 1 person. What probably is going to happen is when you're in school, it's going to be more of a go over questions, go over homework, do labs kind of thing. Most of your learning is going to be recorded. I'm going to record videos for lectures, and you're going to have to watch them and do them at home. Right? And questions are going to be for office hours and when you're in school. So that's kind of how things are going to go. Now, other safety things. Masks, I don't know how much you've been told. They are required. Okay, I'm not wearing one right now just because I'm the only one here. But you're going to be required to wear a mask the whole time that you're in school. I know that's going to be uncomfortable, and if it's nice outside, we will try to take some breaks so you can take them off and do some different things that way. All right. So make sure you have masks, and we'll make the best of it. It's going to be a crazy year. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is I have posted on Google Classroom actually 2 syllabi. All right. One for CNS and one for SU. Right. So I want you to pull out the CNS one that looks like this to start with. All right. I want to just go through some of the things on that syllabus. I'm not going to make you listen to me talk all day. All right. But there are some things that I want to talk about. All right. Prereqs you can read. Those are some of the topics that we're going to cover. All right. I do want to talk about materials. Now you're supposed to pick up materials already. Okay. So things that you were supposed to get. This is the AP Chemistry Review Book. I use this for SUPA. It's a great resource for you. It's a little bit easier reading. You're going to use this a lot. You can write in this. It is yours to keep forever. Okay, so you should have this. You should also have the textbook. Okay, this textbook is extremely expensive. Please be very careful with it. Don't write in it. Okay, please put your name in it. Now, this, okay, you're going to leave this at home. You don't need to bring it to school unless I ask you to. Okay, so this is a textbook that we're going to use all the time. And then finally, the third thing you're supposed to get is this flash drive. Now this flash drive is an excellent resource, okay, and it's only for PCs. You cannot use it in a Mac. Don't try to put it in a Mac, it will ruin it. Okay, so you have to use this in a PC. I believe it will work in a Chromebook also. You have to have access to this. Now what's on this flash drive? Well, okay, there are lectures, there are videos, there are demonstrations, and then there are all sorts of live, interactive, not live, but interactive questions and exercises that I'm going to have you do throughout the year. It's a great resource. It's going to be a fantastic use of your time, and you're going to really, really learn a lot from this. Okay, so you want to be careful with this. All right, this drive right here costs $180. Okay, so just be very careful with it. All right. So those are the 3 things that you should have picked up that we're going to be using throughout the year. Now all of this stuff can stay home, okay, unless I ask you to bring it. Now, you were supposed to pick up a Chromebook. Okay, that Chromebook has to come to school with you every time that you come to class. Okay, we won't always use it, all right, but I need you to have it here because we will use it. Some. So make sure you're bringing that Chromebook back and forth to school. Alright, so those are your materials. Those are some other things you can have. Probably should keep a 3-ring binder for anything. Well, we're not going to really have a lot of handouts this time. They'll all be online. You're going to need a scientific calculator for sure. You can use your fancy-dancy calculators. That's fine too. Grading. You actually get 2 sets of grades. You get grades for Syracuse University, and you will get grades for CNS. The only ones that really count, that you really should be worried about, are your Syracuse University grades. Those are the ones that actually determine if you get the Syracuse University 8 credits of chemistry credit. Okay. They will not be the same. Okay. The CNS grades, I have to give them just because we're here at CNS. They really don't mean much. Right. Now, they are calculated a little bit differently. So, for SU, okay, basically what's going to happen is 60% of it is going to be your hourly exams. Okay, so these are your unit tests. right? 30% is the final exam. This is sent to me by Syracuse University, and then I give you 10% for homework and I don't know, special things, anything that we do inside the class. Your lab average is just an average of all your labs. Okay? And when I calculate this, there's a fancy way to calculate it, and it will give me your grades. And we'll talk more about that as we get into the semester. And you can read this, okay, but I want to show you this because there is a pretty big curve on this. Right? This gives you an idea of what's going to happen here. So, okay, if you get between an 86 and 100 raw score, right, that's an A for SU, and you get a 95 for my class. All right, averaged in. All right, so look down here. To actually fail, you got to be below 46. That's 46%. All right, so if you get a 46 or better, you're going to pass the course. All right, so you can go ahead and you can look through this, but this is the general curve that we use for Syracuse University. All right, I'm telling you right now, if you do your work and you study and you work hard, you are going to be in this echelon up here. Okay, SUPA Chem is a tough course, but it's not impossible, and you can handle it. So you can see this and read through some of these great calculations, but that gives you an idea of where the curve is and what you're going to reach for in your goals. Grades will be on School Tool, right? So you'll be able to see those. There are some issues because the actual rounding of your grade doesn't happen to the end of the semester, but you'll have a pretty good idea of what your grades are as you go throughout the year. I try to update School Tool every single day, and you're used to that. You should know how that works. Final exam. You'll take 2 final exams this year. Okay, you'll take one in January for the first semester, and you will take one in June for the second semester. They are written by Syracuse University. They're sent to me, and I have a little leeway in changing it some, but it's a pretty challenging exam, so you have to know what you're doing. But I'll give you lots of materials to study and go through things as we get towards that final exam. Homework. So how I envision this, really how it works, it's going to be a flipped classroom. You're going to have to watch a lecture online, all right, and then you're going to have work to go with it. And it's anything from textbook work, something that I post on Google Classroom, a worksheet, an assignment of some sort, writing, reading, something on the internet that you have to go visit, all right. So those are things that you're going to be your homework. Pretty much always when you're doing problems, you will have the answers. So in the textbook, in the back of the textbook, when you're doing questions, all the answers are in the back. I expect you to look at them. Right? Same thing for the parents. The answers are in here. I want you to use them. Okay? So how am I going to check homework? Well, when you do homework, you're going to have to do the work. Okay? You'll do it on a separate sheet of paper. Okay? You'll have to take a picture of it, and you're going to submit it to Google Classroom. All right? I would suggest that you save your picture as a JPEG, add it to a Google Doc, and submit that Google Doc to me in Google Classroom. That tends to work the best. Okay? This is also how I'm going to check your attendance. If you don't do the work, you aren't considered here in school. Right? Now, due dates. Usually you will have one day. So if I gave you homework today, it would be due by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Right? That's generally how homework will work. Right? I don't accept late work. Okay? Well, I'll accept it and I'll look at it and I'll go through it and comment. But if it's late, you will not get credit. I repeat, you will not get credit for late work. So homework, you'll pretty much have that every single class that we have. Textbook we talked about, review book we talked about, you can read all that. Flash drive we talked about. And you can read some of this stuff, okay? And you can read all this, okay? So a couple things I do want to talk about availability. Okay, Okay, so how class is going to work. If you have normal class on, say it's an A-day, okay, whether you're in school or not, you have work to do. Okay, so if it's an A-day and you are at home on remote that day, you're going to have to log into Google Classroom, you're going to have to watch the video, and you're going to have to go ahead and do the assignments. If you're in school, right, during that in-school time, you're not going to be watching a lecture. You're going to be working with me on different things, either a lab or homework or that kind of things. And then you're going to have to go home and watch the lecture and do the homework at home. Right? So when you're actually in class, that day you'll have more work than normal. Right? So that's going to be kind of how that works. Now labs themselves, sometimes we'll do them in class. There are some virtual labs. I'm still working on how to do that. There are a lot of rules on how we can handle lab equipment. So we're going to work on that throughout the year. Good. All right, so this is the one syllabus. I do want to talk a little bit about the second one, and this is the Syracuse University syllabus. I really need you to understand that you are a Syracuse University student. You actually have to register with Syracuse University. You will have a SU ID number. You have access to the SU libraries. Okay, you are an SU student. You have to follow the Syracuse University rules, not just the CNS rules, but the Syracuse University rules. They're very serious about cheating and plagiarism, and there are some different things that you're going to have to look at and read and agree to. All right? If you are caught cheating, plagiarizing, anything like that, it goes straight to Syracuse University, and you will be brought in front of the board at SU. And they determine whether or not you can stay in the course or what the consequences are. Okay? Please, okay, you need to be very cognizant. You have to do your own work. Okay? Do not copy or share your work with anybody. Okay? If you get caught, okay, it is out of my hands. I have to turn it into Syracuse University. Right? Now, you can read some of this stuff, learning goals, course descriptions. So this is the stuff that comes directly from Syracuse University. All right, again, some of the materials and things that are listed. Okay, you can read all that. On the next page, okay, is some grading things, and attendance, and that kind of stuff. I do want to point out the academic integrity rules. Okay, they are listed down here at the bottom. All right, there's a website that you can look at. So please take a quick look at that. All right, it's very important you understand that. Let's see what else we want to talk about here. Again, you can read. Those are just some more policies from Syracuse University. And eventually we'll get to this page. So this page is the fall semester. These are the exact things that we're going to be covering in class. Okay, so we'll be starting in chapter 1. We won't necessarily go in this order. I've changed things up a little bit this year. Okay, so we're going to start with chapter 1, well, then we'll do chapter 2. We're going to wait on chapter 3, and we're going to come down to chapter 6, I believe. All right, so this is the stuff that we'll be covering in class, and it breaks it down even more as you go throughout the syllabus. Okay, so you can actually see all the different things that we're going to do in that specific unit. So you can kind of look ahead to see where we're going to be. Right? It follows the textbook pretty well. Right? So you can go ahead and read through this. Okay, so those are the two syllabi. Make sure that you've read them and understand what's in them. If you have questions, let me know. Okay, when we sit together in class, I'm going to talk more about the grading procedures and how it happens, how I actually do it, so you have a pretty good understanding of what happens that way. Good. All right, now, this is a parent letter that I emailed out and is on Google Classroom. Okay, so you should have read this already. I do want to point out some important things here. So probably, maybe register for your courses, and it's all online. All right, so we'll do that registration. All right, when you register, okay, you're going to need your social security number, your parents' email, your parents' phone number. You will need an email yourself that is not part of the school district here at CMS. It's got to be a private email address. All right, and we will sign you in and get you registered. Once you are registered, okay, they will send your parents and you a bill. Okay, and it's the same as last year. It's going to be $920 for 8 credits, which is really cheap. Okay, so it's $920. You will get a bill. There are multiple ways that you can pay for that bill. Okay, and those options will be listed to you when they send you the bill for the semester. Now, the money doesn't come to me. I don't have anything to do with the money. It all goes through SU. So you can ask me questions and that kind of stuff, but I don't take the money. Okay. There are, if you are financially, have some financial issues right now, okay, there is financial aid available. If you have any of those issues, all right, come see me and I can get you the paperwork that you can actually get some scholarships to reduce that money down. All right, so just come and talk to me if you have any of those issues. If you have a 529 plan, okay, which is a college fund plan, and you should talk to your parents about this. Right, you can use that 529 money that's saved for you to pay for this tuition. All right, I just want to bring that up. Some people have them, some people don't. Your parents may or may not want to use that money for right now. All right, but if you do have one of those college savings accounts, all right, you can use that to pay this tuition. Now, there are some important dates that I need you to know right now. All right, these are the drop date and the withdrawal date. Okay, so the drop date to drop out of this course, and this is for Syracuse University, okay, so if you drop out of the course, you have to drop out of it here too, but you have until the 13th of November okay, to drop out of the course. Now, if you drop out, you get all of your tuition back, you get everything back, all right, and it doesn't hurt you in any way, okay, you don't get nothing, you don't get a transcript, you just withdraw, or you just drop the class, and you're done, there are no consequences. You can withdraw from the course until January 7th. If you withdraw, you don't get any money back. Okay? You get no money back, you forfeit your tuition. You do still get a transcript, but on the transcript, you get student withdrawal from the course. So it really doesn't hurt you, all right, other than you lose the money. Okay? That's the last time you can actually drop out of the course totally. After the 7th, you're here for the duration. Okay? You cannot drop out of the course at all. Right? You have to stay. Now, I want to stress that this is a college class. Okay? It's important that you do well. You cannot have senioritis. You can't just blow it off. You have to be willing and ready to work. And there are some consequences if you don't. All right? And they're not just failing high school class consequences. Right? If you fail one of these courses, okay, that officially goes on your transcripts for SU, and those have to get transferred to wherever you're going. Right? And there are some consequences. If you fail, you could be put on academic probation as soon as you start your freshman year, and you don't want that. You don't want to start on academic probation. All right, that's one thing. If you fail this class, you could also lose your financial aid. All right, so any financial aid that you qualify for, if you fail this class, it can or will affect your financial aid. All right, now, I'll be honest. Okay, last year, almost everyone passed everything. Okay, we had very few issues, and people did very, 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 very well. Almost everyone got A's and B's in everything. Okay, so students did very well. So I expect the same from you guys. Okay, I expect everyone will do very well. All right, but I need you to keep that in mind. If if you or your parents ever have questions about anything, best way to get a hold of me, or best way for your parents to get a hold of me is just throw me an email at school, and I usually can get back to them pretty quick. All right? If you have questions, again, I have office hours, and those are going to be on Mondays and Thursdays from 2 to 2:45, and then I think we're going to have hours on Wednesdays from 11:45 to 12:45, I think. Okay, so that's, again, that's a little bit in flux, but that's the plan. Okay. That's the syllabus and kind of some of the stuff that we talked about. Before I end this, there's just a couple little things I want to talk about, and I just want to introduce myself a little bit. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, I've been at CNS now here for, I think this is my 18th year. I've been teaching chemistry the whole time that I've been here. I've taught all levels of chemistry, from the lowest levels to Regents chemistry to honors chemistry. I became the AP teacher about 6 years ago, and I converted the AP to SUPA, so I've taught all the different levels of chemistry. A little bit about my background. I actually did not start in teaching. I actually was, I went to school as a biology major, and I actually dropped out of Potsdam and actually went into the Army, and I spent 4 years in the Army and became an X-ray and a CAT scan tech, so I worked in the medical field for quite a while. And back in 2000, I was working out at the North Medical Center as a CAT scan tech, and I decided to go back to school because I wanted to teach. So in 2000, I went back to SUNY Oswego, and I got my undergraduate degree in biology and a minor in chem. And I got my master's degree from Mississippi State in earth science. So I can teach a lot of different things. I guess I'm a big science nerd. And then I started teaching here in 2003, and I've been here ever since. Things about me, I do coach, so I'm one of the boys and girls indoor and outdoor track coaches. I work with the varsity team. Things I like to do, I run, I like to bike. Let's see what else. I like to read. What else? Oh, I have a cottage down in the Finger Lakes on Cuca Lake, so I spend a lot of my summer down there. It's right in the water. We have a boat, so we spend a lot of time in the water. Let's see, other things. I don't know. You can always ask. I have a lot of students that, as they start thinking about college and different places, they'll come and ask about the places I've been. If you ever have questions with the military, or you're thinking about that, please feel free to ask. Right? So, okay. Now, before I end, the last thing I want to tell you is I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Right? I know it's going to be a hard year just because of the situation that we're in. If you have trouble or if there are issues, I'm just asking you, please throw me an email, call me at school, talk to me at school. If I don't know that there's an issue, I can't help you. Right? So I will do everything I can to get you through this course, and I'm sure all of you will do very, very, very well. I'm very confident that you'll do extremely well. Right? Again, welcome to my class. And I'll be seeing you in person soon and looking forward to it. So, have a good day, and we will see you soon.